to it then, episode 52 of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. Yes, it's Cheltenham week. If you've come here to escape all the Cheltenham Festival chat, you've come to the right place. We are here for the doggies and we're in good company as well, because top judge, open race correspondent from the Racing Post, Tony Bullen, joins us. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good, Dave. I mean, the racing's coming at us thick and fast now at various venues, and the cream have been rising to the top. Seen some brilliant performances.
Yeah, some unbelievable performances. Busy as ever. So Friday night, we've got the semi-finals of the Coral Golden Sprint. Saturday night, and the race that we're going to focus on first is the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Puppy Derby final, one of the big ones. There's also the Kent Plate kicking off at Central Park. We'll pick that up next week. And, of course, the final of the British Breeders is on Monday night at Nottingham. So it's all go. It's all action, as it is as ever here on the Racing Post YouTube channel as well. Yes, we'll serve you up the dogs on a Wednesday. Tuesday for your golf. Thursday, get filled in for the weekend action in the assist on the football. And, of course, it is Cheltenham week, so we've got you covered in the know. All sorts of shows, live content as well across our socials. So make sure you are switched on and tuned in to the Racing Post across YouTube and all of social media. At the same time, I said the same thing to Steve Palmer on the Sweet Spot, Tony. This is a good time to open betting accounts. The bookmakers want you. The concessions are out there. The free bets are out there. We've got it all covered as well on the Racing Post website, racingpost.com/free bets. And, of course, a little video for you as well for more info.
Do you want over £2,000 in Cheltenham free bets? Visit racingpost.com/free bets, the ultimate hub for betting offers. Racing Post. Stay ahead of the field.
Well, do remember to like, comment and subscribe here on the Racing Post YouTube channel. If you're watching us on Facebook, give us your views in the comments as well. If you've been finding the winners, I pulled my weight last week, Union Rebel doing the business. Wasn't to be for Whitewood Lenny, but I'm sure Tony can bounce back and we'll give you the best bets as well a little bit later on. But we are going to head straight to Monmore then. It is one of the big ones, the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Puppy Derby. 3 semi-finals to get stuck into. We will start with semi-final number 1. Now, the market told us it was a bit of a match-up on the inside here. Droopy's Aladdin in 2, Racket Hall Brute in 1. Early Pace would not win the race on this occasion. Racket Hall Brute once again fastest. He was fastest in the first round. 28.02 on the board here from Trap 1. Arthur Job for Pat Godfrey in Trap 3, also qualifying. This dog looks a monster, Tony.
Yeah, he certainly does. He looks a brute of a dog for sure. I mean, Droopy's Aladdin did everything that he needed to do at the start. He won that early battle and was in total isolation around the first couple of bends. But Racket Hall Brute got a lovely toe round into the race again. And when he sees daylight, this dog, geez, does he really quicken up. He's got some strength and some in the second half of his races. Set the standard last week and set the standard again. Really powers home. All credit to Arthur Job as well, though, Dave. I thought for Patrick Godfrey, he stayed on really well. But Droopy's Aladdin, I think Connections will be scratching their head that they've got their pride and joy out in front and he's failed to qualify. Yeah,
he's got some early pace. He's a nice prospect. It wasn't to be for him here. But Racket Hall Brute, I'm looking at this dog, Tony, thinking every inch a Derby dog. He's doing this over 480. You're not really meant to win races like this at Monmore. It's a speed track off the front. The fast dogs will dip inside 28 seconds. You want to be off the front. I mean, what's this dog going to do when he steps up to a stiff 4 bends?
Well, and the beauty is he might even stay, Dave. He might even get 6 bends. But when he takes on a stiff 4 bends around a galloping track, I think he's going to be in his element. But yeah, he's really clicked into action in this particular event.
Yeah, nice performance there. Right, let's move on to semi-final number 2 then. And it was Ballymac Kobe here in Trap 3. Now, did catch the eye in the first round, staying on strongly. Runner for JR Racing Syndicate, Maxine Lock, 28.31. Swift bullseye around the outside for Raymond Howe. Also qualifying, runner-up in the Northern Puppy Derby. Tony pleaded with Connections that he be entered, and he's qualified. But a nice performance from Ballymac Kobe. Game.
Yeah, I mean, he was 66-1, the Swift bullseye dog. I mean, for a dog that finished second in the Northern Puppy Derby at Newcastle, a bit of an insult to the dog because he's got that chasing type of pace. But he lines up in another final. Uncle Ed showed nice early pace as expected for Paul Young, but he failed to shrug off the attentions of the Ballymac Kobe and Swift Bullseye, who were persistent pursuers. And Ballymac Kobe, in fairness to him, he didn't bottle it. He got tight on the inside when he was challenging, but he didn't shirk the issue at any stage. And the Toaster Puppy Derby runner-up, he ground out the win with Swift Bullseye, keeping his eye on the leader throughout.
Yeah, 3 beating 6 there. Let's move on to semi-final number 3. And it was another success for the Syndicate, JR Racing Syndicate, and trainer Maxine Lockyer. This time, Headford Dane. It was another one who impressed in the first round. He won on debut. I thought it was a really taking effort. And he's done it again here, 28.72. Ballynakill Liam in 6. Trouble at the turn.
Yeah, I mean, connections of Droopy's Berries would have been happy with the exit that the fella produced, but he just ran off at the turn off his own accord and caused a lot of chaos, put himself out the event. And 6 got a lovely slingshot manoeuvre off the second bend and looked like he had taken a race by the scruff of the neck. But this Headford Dane looks a nice tight day. Showed the right attitude on debut, and Maxine Lock's dog shown the right attitude once again to get up where it mattered most. Droopy's Invent just failed to qualify, railed really well. But yeah, it was a bit of a messy race after Droopy's Berries just moved off his own accord. But this Headford Dane, although he's yet to post a slick time, I like the attitude that he's shown.
Indeed, Ballynakill Liam showing that early pace as well that we saw in the first round. Right, let's have a look at the final then. It's the 8:31 on Saturday night. It's the Premier Greyhound Racing Puppy Derby final, formerly known as the Midlands Puppy Derby. It's 20 grand up for grabs. It is one of the big ones. I think it's probably the biggest puppy competition of the year. It's not the English Puppy Derby, but it is the big one. £20,000 up for grabs here. Racket Hall Brute will be odds on the inside here. 4-5 for Mark Wallace. Headford Dane for Maxine Lock, 9-2 in 2. Arthur Job for Pat Godfrey, 33-1 in 3. Ballymac Kobe, 7-2 in the 4. And Ballynakill Liam and Swift Bullseye, the 2 wides, 25s and 12-1. Now, some stats for you, which I think were quite interesting. In the last, I think, 12 run-ins, only 2 winning favourites have come through to score in this event. It always produces a good final, good crop of youngsters. One of those was a joint favourite as well. So can be a bit of a graveyard for favourite backers this final. This is the most incredible stat of them all, though. Mark Wallace, 15 times champion trainer, has never won the Midlands Puppy Derby, which I had to double check and triple check. It's one of the biggest competitions of the year. He's never won it, but he's got some chance on Saturday night, Tony, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly had. That is a surprising stat. I bet he's had some good finalists that have gone on to achieve big things, though. The event does throw up some stars of the future, and I do think it's Racket All Brute's race to lose. I think he's going to get a toe into the race again. I can't see him getting held up in the early stages, and if he's loitering within 3 lengths of the leaders going into the third turn, you just know how powerful Racket All Brute is. Swift Bullseye dog, I would have preferred him to be drawn the other side of the Ballynakill Liam personally. I think he'll improve for another look round. Headford Dane, although he's not done anything flashy on the clock, times are irrelevant with this type of youngster. I think he's the real deal, this Headford Dane. But I do think Racket All Brute, with a clear run, he is the fastest dog in the race.
Yeah, I think the draw's been really kind to him, just tucked away on the inside. He doesn't need to tack across to the rail. You know, he's not stranded out in 4, in which case we'd be asking questions about whether or not he's going to get tangled up. I think he slips round on the rail. I think he'll be probably in the first 3 at halfway, and then I think he'll come home and do the business. So it's going to be 2 votes for Racket Hall Brute. That is on Saturday night. It's the 8:31 at Monmore. It's the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Puppy Derby final. Be able to watch that behind the red button on Sky Sports Racing, and of course on the PGR website and across all the bookmakers streaming platforms as well. Right, let's move on to Friday night then. Friday night delight at Romford. 36 became 18. We had 6 first round heats. The action, as ever, was fast and furious. Now we're going to dive straight into Friday's semi-finals. And after we've done each of the races, we'll have a look back on a little bit of key form from last week. So this is going to be the first semi-final on Friday night. It's the 7:44 semi-final number 1. Coolio Gold on the inside for Maxine Lock, 11-8. Unanimous Leon 14s. Yahoo Megan 15-2. Fire and Ice, the Puppy Cup winner, goes in trap 4. Union Rebel 6-4. Fire and Ice 6-1. Pyman's Goalie at 12-1. Now Union Rebel was the fastest heat winner. I'm going to have a look at that bit of VT. We've cut out Brindle Bully going over. He did complete and all is well there, thankfully. But we don't need to see that again. But we do need to see the dazzling pace produced here by Union Rebel. This was absolutely brilliant. 23.67. This dog's got some pace.
Yeah, he certainly has. He'd obviously been off the card, but he'd done the track record in a sprint at Oxford last month, and he moved well in a prep trial and proved that he's tailor-made for this tight 4-bend circuit at Romford. Very brilliant, just brilliant from start to finish, Dave. The time was there, the pace was there from the get-go, and threw down a serious marker with this decisive victory.
Yeah, key line of form there as well, because Ice on Fire was in 1, Unanimous Leon was in 2, and they all reoppose in this semi-final. So he showed the early pace. I think the draw is good. I went back and had a look at Fire and Ice out of track 4. I think he ran from 4 in the semi-final of the Puppy Cup, and he definitely chopped in on the rail at the first turn. So I'm going to be with Union Rebel to score again. I was a little bit surprised that Coolio Gold was chalked up as the favourite, because I do like the draw of Union Rebel. Who do you like, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to be with Coolio Gold. I'm not sure he wants to be drawn bang on the rails, but, I mean, Connections have done really well with this dog. He's had a little bit of a stop-start career. Another one came out, the Monmore Puppy Derby in his pomp. I just think that the dog still retains plenty of class, and he can come from just off the pace as well. I like the fact that he's drawn on the inside of Unanimous Leon. I would have been concerned if he'd have been on the immediate outside, but yeah, if Union Rebel beats them to the punch, 23.67, you're not going to come from off the pace to beat the 23.67 dog at Romford. But Coolio Gold, his confidence high, and I think he'll give a good account drawn bang on the rails.
Very strong over the 400. Very, very strong. Right, before we move on, Union Rebel was Kevin Hutton's first runner at Romford for a number of years. I will be staggered and fall off my chair if you know the answer to this question, Tony, but I will throw it out there to everyone in YouTube world as well. Can you name Kevin Hutton's last runner at Romford?
No. I'm not
I'll
even
give you a clue.
Airport captain.
Now you don't know. I don't want you to give the answer. If you do know the answer or you want to have a guess, chuck it in the comments below. The only clue I'll give you is the dog was a stayer. Right, it wasn't over the 400 metres. He was a stayer. So there you go. It's been some time. You know, I spoke to Kevin. I said, "What's going on? Where have you been?" And he said, "Well, Oxford race on Friday nights. You know, Friday's a busy day for us down at the kennel, so our short runners can run at Oxford." So he's not been there. He's not been there for a number of years, but I think they've picked the right one to come back with. So Union Rebel going to be for me. Coolio Gold for Tony. Let's move on to semi-final number 2. This is the 801 on a Friday night. Stone Park offer on the inside. 4-5. Bombay 0-16s. Trooper McAvoy 18s. Crossfield Enzo 8-1. Mad About Peck 11-4. Whitewood Lenny 9-2. I should have said this when we went through the prices for the first semi-final, but 10 out of 10 for the sponsors Corals being fast out of the boxes here to price up the semi-finals. They are their prices. We're going to have a look at a little bit of VT here. Now, this is an interesting bit of VT. Stone Park offer in trap 1 finished 3rd. Front Alice, the defending champion, finished 2nd in 4, but it was Mad About Peck who cut loose here for Tom Hilborn out of trap 5, 23.74, and he likes it round Romford.
Yeah, he certainly does. He won over course of distance last year, breaking the 24-second barrier comfortably. He was behind Stone Park offer when they met recently in a sprint at Sunderland, but he got the drop on Stone Park offer, who wanted to edge middle immediately out of the boxes and just got bumped on the run-up, and that allowed Mad About Peck to be in total isolation off the second bend. You've got to give credit to Front Alice, Dave, the defending champ. She ran a blinder to qualify in second, but I think the Stone Park Hoffer dog just lost it at the start.
I remember vividly texting you after that race saying, I hope Stone Park Hoffer gets a draw down the middle next week because I'm just going to have the lot on. He's got one, so I'm a little bit torn here. I think Stone Park Coffrey, if you put a speed gun on him, I think he's right up there in terms of the fastest dogs in training. For pure pace, I said the same thing about Kulavani Shadow. I thought he was the fastest dog in training when he was in training. I think Stone Park Hoffer, in terms of raw pace, is right up there. But I'm just not sure about him on the inside. Now, he might come away and he'll just have the pace to take a step right and be gone. He's priced up 4-5. I'm going to take a chance with Mad About Peck again off the front here. but it's really a race that I don't have a mega strong view on. Have you, Tony?
I wouldn't be taking odds on. I mean, the only thing I do favour Stone Park Hoffer this time around again, because Bombay Zero just lacks a yard, and I do think that he'll be able to edge out. Like, he ain't initially going to take a whack out the boxes trying to edge across.
Yeah.
So I will be with Hoffer. I mean, he was 5-2 on to beat Mad About Peck last week, so it's probably about right, really. You get him 4 or 5 this week, but yeah, I think if he does come away running and not get an initial bump instantly out of the boxes, you'll see what he's capable of, because he doesn't really get a true 4-bend distance. And I mean, the fact that he didn't finish second tells you that he needs to be off the front to be winning this competition.
Yeah, he's got pace though. I'd love to see him out of 3. If he qualifies, get him in 3 in the final, Union Rebel in 4, and we could be set for absolute fireworks. But let's get there first. Easy in trap monies for Tony. I'm going to go with Mad About Peck, but it's not a race I like at all, that one. Right, semi-final number 3, 8.19. And prices here. Nias Furnabolt, the national sprint champion for Chloe Hardy on the inside, 5-1. Kalara Burb, 13-8. Queen Sinead 3s, Rana Mamba 14s, Front Alice 10s, the defending champion, and Pavilion Team at 11-4. Right, let's have a look at Kalara Burb last week for Ellie Field. I think officially the youngest trainer. Out of Monmore, 23.73 here. It was a nice performance. Switches to 2 and going to need to be on the old toes out of the boxes here with the national sprint runner up the inside. Yeah,
certainly is, though. He's making waves on the open scene. He's Kalara Burb. Sort of kicked off his career in some style, then had a little bit of a dip, but confidence boosting, winning the first round. As I say, he needs to be off the front. I'm a bit worried about the national sprint winner on the immediate inside, but this dog, again, you're doing 23.70s for fun at Romford. You're no slouch, Dave.
Sorry, what was you worried about there?
Yeah, I'll call it the national sprint winner in trap one.
You didn't want to have a go. I did have a go. Nias Furnabolt. If that's wrong, someone let me know. It probably is. But good luck. Fair play to Chloe, Stephen Anderson, and all the team there. Sam Roberts travelling down with Stone Park Hoffer. Tom Hilbron travelling down as well with his team, Mad About Peck, etc. It's a great field, isn't it? Before we get your view on this third semi-final, the stars have certainly turned up for this year's Golden Sprint. They're travelling from afar.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a shut your eyes job at the turn, to be true to this race. When you've got ferocious pace types in clashing together at Romford, you do need to make the turn. It's not the longest of runs to the corner. I'm going to be with Pavilion Team here, Dave. Now, I think the inside could get tight, but one thing that I did notice with Pavilion Team, he tried to edge across at the turn himself in the heat. So he's going to still need to look sprightly. But if he can just get that half a length on him at the crown of the turn, they're automatically going to check up in behind. And I think he can use his sprinting pace to cut loose from the pack.
Interesting race. I wanted to give a chance to one, and now I definitely want to give a chance to one. Now I've seen the prices, 5-1. They've all got to get round Nias Furnabolt there, so 5-1. Queen Sinead, switching to a middle draw. She's been doing it well out the inside, showing pace. She won her heat last week. 3-1, she's got a leader's chance as well. That is a proper Romford race, isn't it? If you find the leader, you're probably going to be on the winner there. That is the 8.19 of Romford. It's semi-final number 3. Did you have any outright view, Tony, in the Golden Sprint? I put up Union Rebel price-wise in the Racing Post, and I still think he's the dog to beat.
Yeah, I put Hoffer up last week on the show. I'll stick with him. As I say, I'd like him to be drawn middle. I think you'll get one of those smash breaks if he was drawn trap 3, but I don't see no reason to change my mind, even though he was beaten at skinny odds.
Right, let's get to it then. Best bets of the week. I've got the honour, but I'm a gentleman, Tony. I'll let you go first. Where are we off to? Yeah,
I'm going to go to Monmore. There's a few finals running alongside the big puppy final on Saturday, and I think it could be a good night for Mark Wallace. Sort of got New Destiny, who will be a warm order in the Jim Woods Memorial Trophy. But I like this Armour Doffy in trap 5. Got a great makeup. I think the inside again, Vixen's Filofax, who beat Armour Doffy when they met recently, got trap 4. And I just like the pace that this dog showed. He's not got a lot of mileage on the clock. He's getting better with each look round the track. And I think Mark Wallace's dog, a repeat performance, he should oblige.
Okay, right. That is the 8:47 at Monmore then on Saturday night. You are not watching a rerun, all right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm going the same dog that was the nap last week. Union Rebel goes in his semi-final of the Golden Sprint. I think he's got a good draw in 5. I've got the 4-dog Fire and Ice edging inside, then I think chopping down onto the rail at the turn. So he's in 5, and I think he'll zip round the turn, and I think he'll make all the running. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think Union Rebel is the dog to beat in this year's Coral Golden Sprint. I think he can go marching on into next week's final. He goes into 7:44. Amadahi's in 8:47 at Monmore. That is our double best bets of the week. Remember, you can watch all the action live on the Premier Greyhound Racing service, behind the red button on Sky Sports Racing, and of course on the PGR website and across all the bookmakers streaming platforms as well. Tony, as ever, it's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you well if you're dabbling at Cheltenham as well. Do you get involved in that?
Yeah, I have a bit of interest. I'm not crazy mad on the festival. I think it's not as good as it used to be, but there's enough dog racing to whet the appetite, let alone the horses.
Amen to that. Do remember to get involved. Let us know in the comments below who you fancy for the 2 competitions we've covered. If you've got a view at Central Park or Nottingham as well, there's big race action absolutely everywhere. And I'll be impressed if anyone can name Kevin Hutton's last runner at Romford before Union Rebel as well. Enjoy the racing, gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next time.